Good evening, InvestFest. Before we do anything else, let's all take a moment to give glory to God for giving us this opportunity to come together. This has been beautiful to see. 31,300 tickets sold, an all-time record. People came from all over this country to Atlanta because they believed something here could change something back home. And to everybody on the East Coast who stayed up with us for the closing of InvestFest, thank you. To everybody on the West Coast watching after dinner, thank you for spending part of your evening with us. Now, after everything we've seen this weekend, I should probably lower expectations because I'm not going to do anything as amazing tonight as Julian Brown turning plastic into fuel. Julian, that was one of the best things I've seen all weekend. I've been following your journey for quite some time. We've never met. I hope we get that opportunity one day because you looked at something most of us throw away and saw possibility. He saw fuel. We saw trash. And Julian, you gave me the perfect place to begin because tonight is about what happens when we learn to see differently. And moments like that are why I want to thank Rashad Bilal and Troy Millings. When Rashad and Troy asked me to close this year's InvestFest in a brand new way, I knew I had to honor that request by being inventive. So here I am, not on the traditional InvestFest stage, not standing behind a podium. I'm Rahdric C, coming to you live in virtual reality from the Good Network inside the Goods virtual world. We're ending a weekend about the future by using the future to talk about what we do next. So I want you to do something with me. Close your eyes just for a moment. Imagine your bare feet standing in a puddle. It's in the one place in America you believe needs the most help. Don't overthink it. Wherever your mind took you, stand there. Now open your eyes. Look at my feet. That's why I'm standing barefoot in this water. Because before we try to change something, we should be willing to stand in it long enough to understand it. Look again at the place your mind just visited. Maybe it's a neighborhood, maybe it's a school. Maybe it's a business barely holding on. We talk a lot about generational wealth, but generational wealth matters because generational struggle is real. The puddle has an address. It has a family. It has a story. And somewhere in this country, somebody is living in the place you just imagined. That's why we're here. And that's why, for these final few minutes, I want us to walk through one more puddle, the puddle of knowledge that has been poured into this place for 3 days. People came to Atlanta looking for change. And in 2008, Barack Obama said something that has stayed with me. There has never been anything false about hope. He was right. Hope got somebody on a plane. Hope got somebody in a car. Hope got somebody to buy a ticket when maybe they weren't sure they could afford one. Hope brought 31,300 people together because we believed tomorrow could be different from today. But hear me tonight. Hope was never supposed to do the work for us. Hope brought us here. Knowledge met us here. Action has to leave with us. And that brings me to 3 words. C, care, do. I'm not going to spend tonight explaining them. We're going to use them. Julian Brown looked at plastic and saw fuel. That's C. Alicia Lyttle showed us what artificial intelligence can do. But don't leave here saying, I need AI. Ask better questions. Where am I wasting time? Where is my business getting stuck? What problem could this technology actually help me solve? Then solve one. AI got smarter. Did we? Mayor Andre Dickens gave us bridges, not walls. Don't just post it. Don't just quote it. Find the wall in your own life, and if it matters, build the bridge. Matthew Garland told us, just jump. Somebody listening to me right now knows exactly what that means. You've studied it, you've planned it, you've talked about it, you've waited for the perfect moment. At some point, you have to move. Courage jumps, clarity lands, and we heard about taxes, real estate, ownership, strategies like the Augusta rule. But hearing about a strategy does not mean it belongs in your life. Your next move may not be using it. Your next move may be calling your CPA and asking, does this apply to me? Sometimes the smartest action is a better question. That's see, care, do. And the idea isn't complicated. We already understand the power of simple instructions. Stop, drop, and roll. Just do it. Stop, think, act. But we are living through something those phrases were never designed to solve. An age of unlimited information. An age where something can reach millions of people before anybody asks whether it's true. A headline hits your phone. You don't read the story. You get angry. You share it. Somebody shares your share. And suddenly, reaction has traveled farther than understanding. We cared before we saw. We did before we understood. And that is the wrong order. Confusion gets consequences. And now artificial intelligence is going to make information faster, cheaper, more abundant, maybe nearly unlimited. But human attention will remain limited. Information is everywhere. Understanding is not. So the great challenge of the future may not be knowing more. It may be knowing what deserves you. And this next part may be uncomfortable to say at InvestFest. Some of us do not need another podcast, another book, another conference, another motivational speech. Some of us already know enough to change one thing. We just haven't done it. Knowledge without action is unfinished. So if you've been taking notes all weekend, write this down. Don't collect knowledge, convert it. Because if everything you learned at InvestFest stays in your notebook attended InvestFest, not you. Because Monday is coming, the alarm is coming, the emails are coming, the bills are coming, the distractions are coming, life is coming. And Monday does not care how inspired you were Sunday night. Monday wants the receipt. So here are your marching orders. Within 72 hours, find one thing, not 10. One. Go through your notes. Find one thing Julian Brown taught you. One thing Alicia Lyttle showed you. One thing Mayor Dickens challenged you to consider. One thing Matthew Garland pushed you toward. One thing Magic Johnson made you think differently about. Or one thing from any person who stood on these stages. See it? Do I actually understand it? Care? Does this actually matter to the life I'm trying to build? And if the answer is yes, do. You make the call. Schedule the meeting. Ask the question. Test the technology. Start the plan. Have the conversation. One thing, 72 hours. We do not need 31,300 people leaving Atlanta trying to do everything. We need 31,300 people refusing to do nothing. And then ask yourself one more question. What did I miss? Find the miss, fix the miss, and move again. Because tomorrow, these stages and booths come down, the lights go off, people board planes, people get in cars, we go back to our jobs, back to our businesses, back to our families, back to our lives, and that is when InvestFest gets tested. Not tonight, tomorrow. Because 31,300 is the number history will record. But history cannot record what hasn't happened yet, the business somebody starts, the investment somebody finally understands, the question somebody finally asks, the conversation somebody finally has with their children, the knowledge somebody takes from this weekend and gives to somebody who never had a ticket. That is what happens next. And there is something happening when knowledge leaves the stage and enters a household. There is something happening when information becomes understanding. There is something happening when understanding becomes a decision. There is something happening when a decision becomes action. And there is something happening when 31,300 people leave one city, carrying 31,300 possibilities for change. So remember the puddle. Remember the place you saw when you closed your eyes. Take something from here, back there, because knowledge should never end, where access ends. The puddle has an address. Now the knowledge does too. 31,300 people came to Atlanta looking for change. Tomorrow, change finds out how many of us were serious. Good night, InvestFest. God bless you. See, care, do.